YouTube, you could be anywhere in this world, but you're right here with us. So thank you for joining us. I'm Chris. This is Dave, and we're here, Dave. The end of the year, brother.
Yeah, man, that's it's absolutely insane. I still can't believe how fast time flew. I still feel like it was New Year's just yesterday, but time really flies, man. Time really
Yeah,
gets away from you.
especially
And
this year, huh, Dave?
yeah, this 2020 has been quite the quite the unique year for all of us.
Yeah.
So it's been something. It's been something to deal with. But good news is, everyone, we're still alive, well, breathing. I hope each and every single one of you are doing well. It's David and Chris and David, head traders here at Traders Creed. And, we're going to do a little bit something different away from Money Making Mondays, just simply because around the holidays or around this month is where the liquidity and volatility tends to dry up. And we don't really participate in the markets actively as we normally do. So we just want to go ahead and kind of take a different spin on this video in the aspect of discussing some of the activities that you should be engaging in when you're not in times that you're not the most active. Some of the things that are going to help prepare for the year ahead, things that we should be focusing on 2021, how you can go about improving your performance, reflecting on your performance, dissecting your performance, and pretty much just Chris and I want to talk about a lot of the things that we've learned this year as traders, and most importantly as teachers. Some of the things that we've picked up on from some of our students, a lot of the similarities and struggles and successes, and we hope that you manage to extract a couple of gems from this video. So we are not going to be doing an analysis update on this week's video just because we haven't really spotted any opportunities, and the volatility in our setups haven't really been present to our liking. So we figured we just go ahead and unwind it. Probably this week and next week will be our final two videos up until sometime in January, where we will get back ready to roll and tackle the year ahead and the markets. So with that said, man, generally when close to the holidays, you guys will, if you've been a trader for any extensive period of you will figure out that normally around December and January, early January, are times where you generally don't want to be as active just because the volatility and the liquidity tends to dry up. Big institutions tend to unwind their positions. A lot of people are going on holidays, and you're not really going to get the massive moves that we're normally accustomed to. So if you do trade, the last thing you want to be doing is having massive extended targets, thinking you're going to be able to extract like thousands of pips. It's not going to happen. And if it does happen, it's probably just some weird anomaly in price or in the economy or global scale kind of thing. But it's rare where you're going to get these massive, insane trends around this time. So you generally, if you do trade, you want to make sure that your targets are very, very tight and small. Generally about 1-to-1s is where we're looking to take targets and profit. But I'm already really done trading for the week and for the month. I'm going to be unwinding, which is some of the things that we want to be talking about next. Well, what do you do when you have all this free time? The work doesn't stop. Believe it or not, trading is a 24/7 type of gig. It's something that you have to be constantly sharpening yourself up on. There's always work to be done. So I've been telling a lot of my guys, when you're not actively trading the financial markets, you should be taking this moment to really reflect on your performance. Like some of the things that, what are the things that you're proud of this year? What are the things that you're not proud of? What were some of your best trades, your worst trades? Really dissect that. Really reflect upon a lot of your actions. What were some of the behaviors that were really obstacles in your trading performance? What are things that you want to improve on? Reprioritizing your objectives. Is trading still a passion for you? Is it something that you still see yourself doing over the long term? If not, then maybe you really don't want to become a trader. If trading is still your passion, maybe you need to reprioritize your objectives, set some new goals for the year, and really start prepping for the year ahead. Figuring out what your A1 setups look like, making adjustments in your risk controls, really start to play with some macro ideas. That way you understand the direction of how you want to be taking your trading, and really the direction of the markets, so you're still maximizing your odds of success. There's a lot of work that can be done when you're not actively trading. A lot of that work is going to be done in self-reflection. The more you self-reflect as a trader, the better odds of success you'll have as a trader, and the more you will improve and the more you will get to learn about yourself. This is a lot of stuff that doesn't get talked about, because people really think that trading is just all about having this magic secret setup, these magic indicators, and it's really far from, man. Most of this stuff is just mental. It's really mental. The mechanics is the easy part. It's the mental stuff that it really can make or break a trader in here. So focus on engaging in those activities. Get a journal, right? People do not understand the vital importance of a journal. Get a journal and write stuff down, things that you want to improve, things that you want to change, things that you're looking forward to, making those risk adjustments, focusing on your A1 setups. What do those look like? What times do you trade the best? What times do you trade the worst? Figuring out how to optimize your time. You're being effective and efficient with your, figuring out the activities that no longer serve you and focusing on the activities that do serve you. This is the type of work that has helped me and Chris improve as traders throughout the years, and has kept us really consistently profitable throughout the years, and really just knowing when to trade and when not to trade. And this is unfortunately the month where you got to unwind. It's been a phenomenal year for me, hopefully for a lot of our students, and that's something that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But I'm content with the money that I made this year, man. It's been another profitable year. I've had some ups and downs. I've had some moments of weakness where I've stepped out of my risk controls. I've taken some big hits here and there. But other than that, I bounced back. A lot of my guys have seen this. They can all vouch for me. I can pull anybody out of our Discord and they will all vouch for me and Chris, where we've gotten ourselves out of some shit situations. But that's the burden that we sign up as being traders, man. You're gonna take some hits here and there, and you just got to grit it out, man. You got to lick your wounds, and you got to keep moving, and just believe in yourself, believe in the method and your trading approach, and good times are always going to be around the corner. But yeah, those are some of the things that you need to be focusing on. Trust me, you won't regret it. It will be well worth the investment of your time. Focus on these activities and it will help improve your trading performance, or at least that's my experience and the experience of Chris. But with that said, I also, Chris and I, we want to take this time to really talk about some of the things that we learned about this year. Despite the chaos and the pandemic that elapsed in 2020, trading it hasn't stopped. The markets don't stop. There's opportunities everywhere if you're willing to look for them. I know a lot of people were put in some shit situations financially. A lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people were short of money, were put in situations where they couldn't pay their bills, probably feed their family. Our heart and prayers go out to each and every single one of you that were out in those struggles. But for those of you that were really on the hunt, man, that refused to be beaten down by this whole situation, trading has proven to be a phenomenal skill set throughout these years, given that you know what you're doing. It's a skill set that to this day I will encourage many people to learn if you have nothing else to allocate your time to. It's not an easy skill. It's a challenging endeavor, but it is a beautiful skill that, if done right, can change your life forever. It can literally drastically change the course of your life and your income, for that matter. So Chris, man, is there anything in particular that you've learned throughout this year?
I think this year, Dave, for me, the main thing was when not to trade. I think this year I really picked up um, the New York shift, and I stayed away from the Asian session, and like little things like that. Even the smallest things would pay me back so much more. Because I remember in the beginning of the year we were really aggressive, Dave, and then I remember, once the pandemic hit, we kind of had to slow down with our ideas and uh kind of let it play out. Because we started noticing that, we started getting double swipes and stuff like that. And it was funny because sometimes Dave, me and you would take different trades, but we would notice the same thing going on with our trades, from, the double swipe, or certain things that we would notice, like the London flush. So for me, Dave, this year the main thing was knowing when to trade and when not to trade. And just sticking to that. And I would always find myself that if I created an idea outside that range, I'd always get the same result, and that was either get stopped out or overthink my idea or sit on it for too long. So for me, Dave, that's one of the big things for me this year.
All right, yeah. So just learning when to trade, when to stay out of the markets, and
Mhm.
probably I think the most important thing that I got out of what you just said is just adjusting,
Yeah.
adapting as a trader. Because as you said, when the pandemic hit, bro, like we were our everything that we touched turned to gold. But as
Mhm.
soon as we got that crazy volatility and liquidity spikes all over the place, as soon as there was the lockdowns, the talks of the virus, people getting sick, all these talks of death, bro, like we could not make money to save our life for, like, I think what it was almost about a period of a month, man. And in those months, it's easy to doubt yourself. It's easy to like tell yourself, dude, am I, what I'm doing, is it working? Do I really know what I'm doing? But we did, we did. Is just we were being stubborn with our ideas, and we failed to recognize, dude, market conditions are changing, and we have to learn to change with them. So we started being a little bit more calculated with our trades. We were being far more patient. We started, like you said, we started noticing that there was these liquidity spikes, or what we referred to them as double swipes, because usually a lot of the setups that we took were just about one nick outside the range, and that was it. Would make targets. But then we started noticing that there was a lot of working of the levels, as we refer to them now. We would get constantly stopped out. So we were being a lot more patient, or if we did, we widened our stop loss when we executed, or we deployed smaller positions, and we would add at certain things. And we were just making these adjustments as we went along. We picked up on a lot of things, and that is what brought our profitability and consistency back into.
After a while, it just became a habit. Like those little us adapting. Eventually, it didn't really feel like a change. It just we just added it to we know what works.
Yeah, and what's most important about that is we didn't really change anything about what we did. We didn't, completely throw our method down the bin and believe that there was something better out there. No, it's just we just had to make minor adjustments, whether that was
Yeah.
to our execution process, execution mechanics, stop placement, the profit target placements. And really understanding what happened, like what happened, why are the market conditions changing? One from the obvious being the pandemic, but really what is going on, like what is truly going on. And we were able to figure out a lot of those things. There's a massive liquidity crunch that we had. The printing of trillion in the tune of trillions and trillions of dollars. How certain risk on and risk off currency pairs would in these times. And dude, even everything got affected in this pandemic, bro. Like what we thought was safe wasn't even safe anymore.
Yeah.
But we managed to adjust to that, and we got our consistency back up to pace, which was pretty cool. So a lot of our guys got to see us dig ourselves out of that bad period and bad patch. And when they see that, there's hope that, yeah, dude, this can be done. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Dude, would you say you've learned anything else, in that respect?
In regards to what, Dave? I'm sorry.
Just anything in general, like in terms of trading, the market conditions, maybe how we could prosper even in bad economic times. If you're a trader, which I thought was pretty cool. While everybody's screaming the sky is falling, we're making money.
Yeah. If there's
But yeah,
one thing, maybe Dave, I would say that um, when it came to losing a trade, I was able to take it slow because I would find myself always wanting to not revenge trade, but kind of continue participate in the market. When sometimes just staying out would be better, and not causing more damage. Because if we let's say have a loss and we try to create an idea and it's not there and we force it, that's it just it doesn't help us out. So one of the
yeah,
things that kind of helped me was just kind of staying away, and letting go of the last trade really, because that's all you can really do.
yeah, man. Yeah. So being far more patient and selective in our criteria, and pretty much, as you said, it's easy to fall back into rookie
Yeah,
tendencies, to
it really is.
let our monkey brain get stimulated when we're bored. Because when you're patient, one of the most difficult demons you have to fight is the feeling of not doing anything. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like you're not being productive. You feel like you're not making money, or you're falling behind. Or
Yeah.
when you see all these other people make money, it's easy to get that little monkey brain
Especially
stimulated.
if you're passionate about trading like us, Dave, where we just this is our life. Like, even when we're not trading, we're pulling up charts and just communicating with each other regarding the market, or just we're just traders. And
Yeah, man. Like the markets are our heart and soul. Like every time Chris and I, when we get on the telly, on just more of a personal note, we always just, in some way, somehow, we always just end up talking about the markets or something business related, because that's just us, man. And
or just
you
some
know,
aspect of trading that just relates to anything in life, any approach, anything.
yeah, man. Yeah, and it's insane how trading can really just be applicable to your everyday life. That's you and I say constantly over and over. Trading is not just a skill set, bro. It's an identity, man. It's a way of life. It's an art form, a craft. And when you really become in tune with that, it really helps you evolve it to a different, I think, to a better version of yourself. You get to really discover a lot of the bad aspects of yourself. But if you're willing to embrace that, look those demons in the mirror and overcome them, that's where you really get the opportunity to become the best version of
And
yourself.
how about the humility that comes with trading, Dave? Like, what kind of career path gives you the type of humility and like transparency that trading gives you? Like we always say, like, to our students in our group, like you can lie to us in regards of how you're, doing with your trading, but at the end of the day, you're bullshitting yourself, and like the way that trading could really open up and show you how shitty of a person you could be, like the humility for me is kind of what makes trading so weird at the same time.
Yeah, no, man, I completely agree. I think because
Because we can't blame any. It's because we can't blame anybody else, Dave. Like at the end of the day, we have to take responsibility as an individual, and just back up whatever it is we do in trading. Like there's no, we can't blame. I can't blame you. We can't blame anybody.
yeah, man, one of the hardest things, I think the way forward to becoming a trader is assuming responsibility for everything that happens.
Yeah,
That's one of the most difficult things to do, because we as humans, we always point fingers, blame, play the blame game, play victim. When in actuality, the markets don't give two shits about that, dude. It
they don't.
always comes down to us. If you really are humble, like you said, if you have that humility and that ruthless honesty, you're coming to figure out most of the errors in the markets really are a result of it's self-inflicted.
Yeah.
It's us scaling up on a trade. It's us adding when we know we shouldn't be adding. It's us trading when we know we shouldn't be trading. Now, obviously, there are just things where you're following the process to the T, and you take hits here and there, and that's just part of the game. But what you do in those moments when you're taking losses is going to be the ultimate determinant of your character and success. And we as humans tend to perpetuate small problems into bigger problems. So yeah, man, well said. Well said on that. I would say for me, what I definitely learned in this year is the constant need to adapt to market
Mm.
conditions, the constant need to be paying attention. That self-awareness, man. Self-awareness is so key, because, dude, I love how you always say that life and trading, but also life is just like this giant share of consciousness. And even though our lives were really not affected that badly from the pandemic, I mean, most people, were still working. I definitely wasn't suffering financially or anything like that. We were still making money from the markets. You feel the pain of other people, bro. Like
Yeah.
you feel fear and uncertainty, and like you really start to doubt everything, and you feel the weight of going on in the world on your shoulders. And that, I think, having that self-reflective process of reminding yourself that, look, dude, bad shit happens all the time, but as long as we stay united, as long as we stay whole and try to be optimistic in times of uncertainty and fear, that's the way forward, man. Paving that way forward for yourself,
And
creating
we
that
always talk
path.
about this too, Dave. How like if you're not optimistic, it's just counterproductive.
Counterproductive.
Yeah, it doesn't help
It's
you in
just
anything.
as, yeah, it's just as easy to be positive as it is to be negative, bro.
Yeah.
You might as well just be positive, because even if you're negative, it doesn't change your situation. Even if you're positive and nothing changes, well, you know what, I'd much rather be grateful, or at least try to see the best in most situations, as opposed to constantly having that dread of anxiety, that dread
Yeah.
of like, damn, bro, I don't know what the hell's gonna happen. Or it's the sky is falling, when really, dude, if you look around you, No, it's not. Everything is really just fine if you use your self-awareness. But what's other things? Yeah, man, just constantly adapting to the markets, being sure that when the markets are volatile, protecting your money as much as possible, man. Being aggressive with your risk controls, keeping your risk controls tight, not being too active, focusing on high quality trades and looking for your best, making sure that you have a filtering process, criteria checklist. And really, I think the greatest thing that I learned about myself is, dude, nobody, I don't care who you are, nobody is immune to the strongest force in the universe, and that is human emotion. Dude, I have taken two major hits that I probably won't ever forget this year. I've taken a $50,000 loss early in the year when we got this pandemic hit. But that's because I was being stupid. Literally, I was holding trades, adding to trades, focusing on being a macro trader when I'm a short-term day trader. I was completely stepping outside my risk controls, and before I knew it, what became a small problem became a $50,000 loss. And as I was liquidating all my trades in the red, dude, it felt like glass, like somebody was just taking a dagger and stabbing me every time I fucking closed those trades. And then I think it was 2 months ago where I took about a $34,000 loss. I mean, I was still profitable considering the big months that I've been having, but like it just goes to show, man, those big losses are a result of us. And I
Yeah.
was humble enough to admit that, and to show our guys like, yo, dude, like this was my fault. I assume responsibility. But I do, one of the things that I am proud of though that I did do that was wise is I took some time away when I did take those hits. I got some time to really reflect and just be like, damn, okay, I fucked up. That's cool. I'm gonna bounce back, but right now I need to obviously not trade because I'm not in that mental state to be trading properly. Like I don't. The last thing you want is once again to make a small problem a bigger problem. And yeah, man, sometimes the best thing that you could do for yourself as a trader is just step back, catch a breath, go do something else, go live life. Reminding yourself that there is a life outside the markets.
Yeah.
Reminding yourself that things are okay even when they don't seem okay.
I'm glad you
Reminding
brought that up too, Dave, because if there's one thing I can add that can add to your success as a trader, especially during times like this where liquidity is dried up, is go out and just live life, because we could really get wrapped up in this in this in this whole industry of just trading. It's very selfish, and like um I don't know, just I always find myself that when I step away from the screens and I try to live a healthy life, if it's just going out for a run, spending time with family, this and that, that really does contribute to my trading performance the
yeah,
following week. It's like the little things. It's like sometimes the things that have nothing to do with trading, if trading and life are so similar, you take care of life, it's gonna reflect on your trading as well.
yeah, man. Yeah,
Mm,
dude. I love how you put that, brother. So I think those are some of the insights that we have to share in terms of what we learned
mm,
2020. Anything could happen. You guys have to be prepared for anything. The last thing you want to be doing trading big, and then all of a sudden you just get some crazy shit like 2020 happened, and then boom, you're wiped out, man. Your career's over. I know 2020 was either a year where a lot of people got very rich or a lot of people went fucking bust, man. And it's sad because it just goes to show that when you're not being rational and logical, and you're not approaching your trading career like a business, I've just heard some crazy shit, man. We've read some stories, we've heard some crazy things of traders going bust, people killing themselves because they've been putting themselves in bad financial positions. This is the dark side of trading, man. You guys have to be prepared for that. But last but not least, man, this is the last thing I want to talk about. I think this is actually very important as well. This was our first year as teachers. We actually took a stab at trying to teach the craft of trading, the art of trading. And I certainly think that was quite the new endeavor. A lot of experiences to be had, positive, a lot of negative stuff. We learned a lot of things here and there about ourselves as well as teachers. But I want to go ahead and talk about the what we've learned in terms of, or some of the things that we've observed in terms of the similarities that separate successful traders from unsuccessful ones. Is there anything that you've noticed in our time frame of teaching, Chris, that maybe some commonalities, that some successful habits or commonalities that we've had from our students, that because we've literally taken a handful of students that had little to no trading experience at all,
yeah.
and they were consistently profitable, maybe not making like absurd amounts of money, but they started to really hit their stride. And then now they're just on now at this point, all they have to focus on is consistency and scale. But What would you say were some of those successful traits that you managed to pick up from those traders that helped them become consistently profitable in a short space of time?
For me, Dave, it was kind of like noticing that the common thing was that they had a lot of common things with each other, if that kind of makes sense. A lot of them were kind of having the same, not the issues, but the same problem. Like, for example, maybe not setting reasonable targets, holding on to position and having it come back. So what I was noticing is that a lot of the issues that we had from our students, they all kind of had it. Like it was very similar, right?
Yeah,
Um, and how important it is to like if we we tell our guys to always voice themselves if they have any questions or anything at all, and every time they brought something up, it clears something up for another person. So it's just a lot of the common things that a lot of things I noticed were the commonalities that a lot of traders really have. We share a lot of the same bad habits.
yeah, man. Everybody's experience is going to be individually unique to them.
Hmm.
But as you said, most traders, we all struggle or share very similar experiences. What I would personally say that I've noticed from a lot of the successful traders that we've had, really, man, they were the ones that were constantly asking questions. They were the
Yeah.
ones that were constantly posting their ideas or looking for those that second opinion from experienced traders like us, seasoned traders. They were constantly engaged, man. And they were just acting things like that, and that helps really condense that time period that it takes for somebody to learn something when you're getting that constant feedback loop of
Yeah.
you doing your own homework and that due diligence, but then you post an idea and then you ask, and you have that humility to accept that those corrections, or that maybe you're wrong, or that I looked at differently. I think that that level of humility that a lot of our successful traders had is what really got them profitable in a very short space of time. What I've also noticed from a lot of our students is that there, and this is just a trader thing in general, is there's this little fucking thing that we call ego, and I don't mean ego in an arrogant manner. I mean ego to the point where everybody just wants to seem like they're fucking right in this business. And because of that, we also get a lot of traders that don't post their ideas because they're scared of looking stupid. They're scared of being wrong. And I feel like these are the traders that continue to struggle, man. These are the traders that are still struggling, that are not hitting the stride because they just feel like, oh, well, I'll start posting ideas when I'm hitting my stride, when I feel like I'm ready. Dude, when that's never going to be that day, bro. Like, if you're a student and you're being taught something, you need that constant feedback loop. Like you said, we don't know how you're truly performing. You could tell us that you're doing good, but at the end of the day, the only person you're fooling is yourself if you're not doing good.
Yeah.
And that's where the problems really begin to happen. So that's one of the things that I've also noticed from a lot of the unsuccessful traders or traders that are still struggling, is that there's this ego, man. There's this ego of like of being scared to be wrong, of just trying to come off like you're this genius and stuff like that. And that's just the wrong way to go about this stuff, man. And if anything, we as teachers, we walk it exactly like we talk it, man. There's no smoke and mirrors in our Discord. There's no bullshit, no BS, dude. If I'm wrong, I fucking post it. As
Yeah.
painful and as embarrassing, I have posted some of my most embarrassing losses and the dumb shit that I've done, bro. But you know what? I bounced back as well. I have shown people my victories, the insane amount of money. Dude, this year has been probably the best year of my trading career, man. I have had some months that I still can't believe that I've had, man. But the important thing is trying to stay grounded in reality. And yeah, man, I would say that was a result of being just transparent, man, being honest with yourself and being honest with others. Because when you're being honest with yourself and others, that forces you to continue on your good habits.
Yeah.
Because I can't bullshit you. I can't bullshit anybody. So I'm forced to be the best version of myself. And as hard and as exhausting as it is sometimes, it pays massive dividends, man. It pays massive amounts of money if you can do that. So yeah, those are some of the things that I've learned as a teacher. You need a lot of patience to be a teacher as well, because sometimes you'll just, you'll be put in positions where you know that traders are not understanding things that you understand, and in your head it's like, dude, that
I don't know
I
how else to
get it.
put it. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know how else to put it. It's like get it, or some of the things that can be frustrating on our end is that a lot of people think that trading is this black and white cookie cutter
Yeah.
approach. There's like this 1-2 step form. It's not, bro. It's a
Yeah.
dynamic profession, and you kind of just have to roll with the punches. We can
Intuitive.
teach you. Yeah, it's very intuitive as well, and that's the stuff that we can teach you, stuff we can tell you about.
Yeah.
When you get that aha moment, we don't know, but we know that you will get it if you start to get away from this ideology that trading is this like, oh, there's the setup to make money or this 1-2 step process. Nah, dude, it's not, man. There are certain principles and mechanics that you can follow, but how you go about it is very dynamic, and the markets are a very dynamic place, man. So that's another thing that I learned as a teacher is that traders still believe that there's this 1-2 step way about trading, and it's just not, man. It's just not. And I feel like these are the people that struggle the most because they need that, structure. And sometimes we are organized as best as we possibly can be, but at the same time you got to roll with the punches. So those are some of the good things that we've learned, some of the bad things, but one of the things that I want to leave you guys to sleep with tonight is that we all struggle from the same things, man. If you're struggling with, not seeing the performance that you want, not seeing the amount of money that you want to make, the consistency, you're probably not the only one, dude. There's a lot of people that are struggling from a lot of the biases that you're struggling with, a lot of the issues, the mistakes that are being made. It's we're all one, man. The thing that separates you from an unsuccessful trader, or the thing that separates successful traders from unsuccessful ones, are the people that are just sticking it out and constantly licking their wounds and in on that improvement, man. That develop. What's the next thing that I could do to develop as a trader,
Just
and
becoming
eventually,
better losers, Dave. I think we touched up on
yeah,
that many times. Because
exactly.
it's only your losses that's going to take you out the game. There's not one win or a break even that's going to take you out the game. It's literally just your losses.
Yeah, yeah, and learning how to accept that and embrace that, and just being a good sport about your losses is what's really going to make all the difference in your trading
Uh,
career. So, yeah, man, that's good stuff. Is there anything else you want to add to that before we call it a wrap?
Not really, Dave. I think if we can maybe just touch up on the importance of stepping away from the screens and living a healthy life, Dave. I think that's a great way to end it because once again, this trading thing is one of a kind. You can go through the darkest of darkest times, and then somehow the next day you'd be on top of the mountain. But when you're on those dark times, it could get pretty dark, you know. And I
Yeah.
think, like you said, being grounded is very important. Just being healthy,
Balance is so big on this. Don't
balance.
get me
Yeah,
wrong. I'm all about hustling and
yeah.
sharpening your craft and investing time in your craft. Because, dude, I'm telling you, when I first started learning how to trade, dude, you could not get me out of my fucking room, bro. This was
Mhm.
an unhealthy obsession. I wouldn't
Yeah.
eat. I wouldn't sleep. It's not something I recommend all of you do, but it's what I did to get to
Yeah.
where I am in such a short space of time, bro. The amount of screen time, the hours that I put into the shit, the books that I was reading, the amount of money that I invested in my education, the invested in learning new stuff. The trial and error, the back testing that I've done, man, I've paid my dues. That's why I can speak with confidence, knowing that I am a successful trader because of the things that I did. I paid my, and I've been through hell and high water, trial and tribulations. I've been baptized by fire. I've been through fucking crazy shit, man. And I still stuck it out. I remember where I was homeless, sleeping in my car, and dude, I would wake up every morning to go to a fucking Starbucks just to use the Wi-Fi to look at the charts. That and no matter, and I felt so scared and so doubtful, and I was like, dude, I need to go back and get a job and stuff like this. But I stuck it out, man. I stuck it out. And I'm telling you, there's just, you're going to be stuck in those dark times. And another thing, like Chris said, is just finding that balance, because once you get so immersed in your craft, you start to forget that there's other important things in your life. The last thing you want to be doing is neglecting your relationships. The last thing you want to be doing is neglecting yourself, your health, your prize. Because this is a game of time, and you will
Yeah,
get
there's a
this
lot
at
more.
your own pace.
There's just a lot more meaningful things, things that have a lot more value than just money. Because that's literally all we get from this.
Yeah, it's
Besides
just
everything else, they've like, it's what we do with our money that initially kind of contributes to how how we end up as a person and what we become in life. It's not gonna be our trading performance or my portfolio. Like none of that. It's gonna be what we do with our fruits from our labor. You know.
yeah, man. Oh, you put that so fucking beautiful, man. Like the meaningful work and meaningful relationships, like Ray
Yeah.
Dallas said, as long as you have that, you're richer than you fucking think. Like
Mhm.
I know Chris is my ride or die, man. Chris is the kind of guy where I knew if I completely went broke, if I lost everything in the markets, he would still be there for me. We'd be friends, and vice versa. Like, because the markets don't define us, man. Money doesn't define us. It's not what's in your pocket that makes you rich. It's what's in your heart and your mind that makes you rich. Like Chris said, what you do with that money is the ultimate determinant of your character, man. What I choose to do with the money that I make, sure, I spoil myself here and there. It's nice. I'm not very materialistic, but I love watches. I just recently bought a shit ton of watches. But what I like to do with my money, man, is I give a lot of it away. I give money to my sisters randomly, tell them money. I help pay, things that they need pay for school or their debts. Or dude, sometimes when I go out with my family, dude, I pick up fucking $100 $200 tabs, man, these bills, because to me it just, as long as everybody's happy, that's what makes me happy. The ability to be financially secure, independent, and free, and the ability to inspire others, man. I think that right there is the greatest gift that you can leave behind in this world, knowing that if somebody like you could do it, somebody like me, somebody, Chris, what else is stopping the next person? I know there's a lot of our guys in our Discord that sometimes doubt themselves, but I tell them, bro, like, I had no special advantages in life. Like, what the fuck are you complaining about? Like, if I did it, you can do it too. You just got to stick it out. You got to face the doubt like I did too, man. You got to go through those sleepless nights like I did too. You got to go through the trials and tribulations just like I did too. Nobody gets a free fucking lunch in this business. And the traders that do, they lose their money very quickly, bro. I've met a lot of people who have made significant, not just in trading, in life, who have made significant amounts of money in a short space of time, and because they don't know how to handle it or respect it, they come crashing back down as fast as they went up, man. And that's fucking sad. And I've had an experience like that before, and it sucks. And it's what's allowed me to value my money, to really, spend within reason, save, invest, and really use my money for more constructive things, man. To just educate myself and just to save it, so I have the freedom that I have, man. There's nothing you can't put a price on that. And like Chris said, just having that balance and going out and enjoying yourself, whatever things that you like to do in your own time, have fun with that, man. I'm just now, because when you start to neglect a lot of things, because trading is a really isolating and time consuming profession, bro. It will like drain your consciousness if you're not really attending to other aspects of your life. It can become very depressing. There was moments where like I finally hit my stride, and then I stepped back and I'm like, okay, I'm making all this money. I made it to a profitable trade. I got everything that I wanted as a trader. But yet I look back and I'm like, I'm the only one at the top of the mountain, man. This shit sucks. I lost my fiance. I lost a lot of friends in the process. I sacrificed my health at some point in time. I would look sick because I just wouldn't eat. I wouldn't sleep. It was just bad, man. It was just bad. I neglected a lot of fun times, times to travel with my family, times to spend with friends, living my youth. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm blessed to have the freedom, but at the same time, uh, I didn't get to enjoy my youth to the extent that I could have when I was younger. So now I'm kind of just making up for lost time, but at the same time, I got nobody to really spend it with. Now that I moved out of state in California, from California, I've gotten out. I've been spending a lot more time with my family. I feel happier, man. I feel so much more happier, so much in tune with myself. I feel human again. And that, as you said, Chris, that reflects in your trading performance. That really does reflect in your trading performance. So when you're happier, well-rounded, in tune with yourself, your trading performance will reflect that. And whenever you take a hit, you're like, it's not the end of the world, man. It's okay. All I have to do is trade to survive another day. That's all I have to do, man, is survive another day to trade. And when you're in that spot, you've made it, man. And the money will fall. The money will follow after. I can promise you that. But it's not going to happen overnight. So yeah, man, engage in things outside the markets when you're feeling down on your P&L, down on your account, just doubting yourself. Remind yourself that, dude, you will get there when you get there. As long as you're being consistent and not blowing up your fucking accounts and your money, and spending time with your family, your loved ones, and enjoying your youth, and not having that ego about you of trying to be like this hotshot trader to people. Because I'm here to tell you, nobody gives a fuck, bro. Like I became a successful trader, and people, my own family, they don't fucking care, bro. People, they will
They
value
still
you.
don't know what you do.
They still don't know. They don't truly understand what I do, man. For as far as they know, they think I sell drugs or some shit. Uh, who knows, man? Who knows what they think? But it's just crazy. It's hard to explain this to people because it's a different language. Like you can't just explain this shit to people. So yeah, that's really all I have to say on that, man. Is just, guys, this has been one hell of a year. We hope that many of you have learned a lot of positive things, a lot of negative things, but amidst all this crazy shit pandemic, man, there's still a lot to be grateful for. I thought there wasn't, but I walked out with two important things in my life. I walked out with realizing that the world around us is still okay, and the universe is always there to watch our back. And I still have a roof over my head, my family, my health. I'm still alive, well and breathing. My family is as well. And I think the last thing that I walked away with is, I think the most important thing, it's that you meet someone. I met someone new in my life. We're still dating and stuff like that. And I would have never had that opportunity if I was just so immersed in my craft. And there's beauty amidst the shitstorms and everything. So that's just what I wanted to say. What I'm grateful for. Is there anything that you're grateful for this year, man?
I'm grateful, Dave, that I'm not alone in this long
Word.
journey. I have you, I have, our students, but I don't know, Dave, before all this, it was just me, myself, my room, my thoughts, my own humility, but like now I'm just it's I'm like, even though it sounds kind of bad, I'm grateful that other people are going through the same thing that I'm going through as well, because it just kind of shows that we're it's really just one shared conscience. We all want the same things, Dave. um some of our journey may take longer than others, but we really all want the same thing, and we're not alone.
Yeah, man. I love that, brother. I love that. That's beautifully put. There's a lot to be grateful for, guys. So we're gonna call it a wrap there. The last thing that we want to do, a couple notifications is, if you loved what you heard, if you loved this video, please, please, please do us that favor of hitting that like button, subscribe button, notification bell button if you want to stay up to date with any and all of our recent content. This and next week will be our final weeks on YouTube up until the new year. Next week's video is going to be a bit of an exciting one. It's going to be an analysis breakdown on Bitcoin, because we know that's the talk of the town right now. Everybody's fucking hot. It's the buzzword right now. So we will do our own break, and we will show you how our principles and way of trading approach is applicable to any market, really. And I think cryptocurrencies are going to be an exciting market for the years to come. So that's something that we will talk about. We hope you guys are going to stay tuned for that, because I do have some money invested in cryptocurrencies. Mind you, a little bit of a disclaimer: Chris and I, we don't actively trade cryptocurrencies, but we do in them. So we just specialize in foreign currencies. That's our bread and butter market. But yeah, that's it for this week's video. And next week we will do a Bitcoin breakdown for Money Making Mondays. So that's something that we have in the pipeline as well. And just prepare for the new year. Prepare for the new year. Engage in the activities that once you're done there. Once you have everything planned out, relax, unwind, enjoy the holidays, enjoy the time with yourself and your families, your loved ones, and let's close this year strong, and let's go ahead and crush 2021. With that said, much love, guys. Trade safe, trade smart, trade well. Most importantly, have fun with this shit. Chris and David tuning out. We love y'all. Until next time.
Yes, sir.